Good evening, Osotube. As some of you may recall, the first 6 days of March is Aplastic Anemia and MDS Awareness Week. As such, in order to raise awareness, I am making videos during the entire Awareness Week, and half of all the proceeds from my art commissions and books are going to aplastic anemia and MDS research. Today's video will be talking about what aplastic anemia actually is. I happen to be a perfect person to talk about this because I was diagnosed in 2009. So, what is aplastic anemia? Aplastic anemia is a bone marrow disorder where the bone marrow doesn't make enough blood cells, and I mean all types of blood cells: red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. This condition can develop when the bone marrow is damaged, which someone can be born with, or the bone marrow can be damaged as a result of radiation exposure, chemotherapy, exposure to toxic chemicals, infections, and even some drugs. Despite the fact that we know what can cause aplastic anemia, 50% of all cases cannot determine the cause. Only 1 out of every million people in the US will be diagnosed with aplastic anemia every single year. To put that in perspective, that's about 0.000001% of the US population. So, what does it feel like to have not enough blood cells? People with aplastic anemia will experience fatigue, dizziness, fever, heart palpitations, frequent illnesses or infection, shortness of breath, paleness, bruising, purple or red spots, and bleeding. Sometimes the symptoms will pop up suddenly or they can become gradual over time. When it comes to the treatment of aplastic anemia, blood transfusions are essentially guaranteed. You may also receive platelet transfusions and bone marrow stimulation. The more serious procedures involve bone marrow transplants and immunosuppressive therapy. Even so, people could live their whole lives with aplastic anemia. Because while there are procedures, there are no cures, and there's no way to prevent it. So that is aplastic anemia. Tomorrow I'll be talking about what specifically is MDS. Thank you for taking part in Aplastic Anemia and MDS Awareness Week. Or if you'd like, you can also order an art commission from me, and half of the proceeds from that will also go to aplastic anemia research. Don't forget to check out my Patreon and consider becoming a patron if you want to have early access to posts, access to a patron-only blog and Discord server, free art prints, copies of my book, signed of course, and even a chance to become a beta reader. And don't forget to check out my other social media sites if you want more content. See ya!